Greetings once more, greetings to you, global citizens. Welcome to the Rebirth of Africa Movement channel, where we believe that the 21st century is an African century, and in this century, Africa is going to lead the world. Today, I want us to look at why the US and South Africa relationship is getting worse. We all know that it's not all cozy between South Africa and the United States. Things are getting worse. President Ramaphosa has been trying to mend the relationship, but nothing is coming out. We remember last year, President Ramaphosa with his delegation, they went to the White House to meet President Trump to try to mend this relationship. But apparently things seem to be getting out of hand. So I want us to look at why is it so? Why is this relationship getting worse? Hello everybody, welcome again. I am the Rebirth Apostle. I want us to look at something many people are asking. People are asking, why is the relationship between the United States and South Africa getting worse? No one knows everything for sure, but experts and leaders, they've got ideas. Let's look at some of the main ideas which are causing this conflict. Number one, different views on international conflicts. One reason is different opinions about world issues. For example, South Africa has spoken strongly against wars in Ukraine and in the Middle East. South Africa criticized Western nations, including the United States, for their actions in, for example, in Gaza, in Palestine. The US supports Ukraine and Israel. South Africa has called for peace and questioned those policies. These opposing views create tension and disagreement. Number two, trade and economic differences. The US and South Africa trade goods, but it's not always fair. South Africa wants better trade deals and more jobs for its people. Some South Africans feel that the US takes advantage of South African markets and resources. When countries feel economics are unfair, trust goes down. Number three, human rights and values crash. South Africa says it wants peace and justice for all nations. South Africa says it is non-aligned. It just wants peace. It's not taking any side. When South Africa sees powerful nations acting in ways it disagrees with, South Africa speaks out. They are not cowards. They speak out. The US sometimes sees South Africa's position as unfriendly or hateful to alliances. So both sides feel the other doesn't understand their values. Number four, historical and political difference. South Africa has a history of struggle against racism and injustice. It often stands with other African nations and the global South. The US has a long history of global power and influence. Sometimes South Africa feels that the US expects too much loyalty. And the US feels South Africa is moving too far from shared goals. This leads to political tension. Number five, pressure from other countries. International politics matter too. South Africa has strong relationships with countries like China and Russia. This makes the relationship more complicated. So when South Africa works with them, the US becomes curious. And South Africa is also part of BRICS nation, which includes China and Russia. And we know that the BRICS nations, they are mostly communist and they are for de-dollarization. They want to introduce the BRICS currency, which would topple the American dollar. So for South Africa to find itself as a friend of the BRICS or a member of BRICS nations, South Africa puts itself in a position where it becomes an enemy of the United Nations and the relationship become more complicated. Number 6, domestic politics in both countries. Sometimes leaders in both countries use foreign issues for their own politics. When leaders grow loud or more critical at home, it makes diplomacy harder. So this is what it is, guys. The situation has reached another level, and I think we all know the story that there were some warships which were seen in South Africa this few weeks ago. And it is said that these warships, they belong to Iran and China as well. Official statements, they say that these warships were doing drills. They were just doing drills, but some people believe that Iran and China and these BRICS nations have already put those warships around South Africa in case the US would try to attack South Africa. Those are just speculations. But as we know, those ships have been removed. Iran has removed those warships. So in simple terms, the US and South Africa relationship may be deteriorating because of different views on war and conflicts, economic trade disagreements, clashes in values and human rights issues, history and political differences, pressure from other global powers, domestic politics in each country. This doesn't mean the relationship will stay bad forever. Countries often go through hard times, then rebuild trust. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Thank you. I'm the Rebirth Apostle. Meet you next time. Goodbye.